Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, Karen crashed into my Jeep and expects me to pay her cash for her damages because her children will starve if she pays to fix her car. Karen wants to sue me now over the post from the Jeep accident. Karen asks if anyone else on the waitlist is as entitled as her. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Karen crashed into my Jeep and expects me to pay her cash for her damages because her children will starve if she pays to fix her car. So some backstory: I own a Jeep, #JeepLife, fully built, lift kit, A.D.D bumpers, the whole shebang. So one day, I'm coming home from work, it's a summer day, the roof is off and I'm having some open top fun. Stop at a red light and suddenly screech bang. I drive forward slightly and go back to assess the damage, and lo and behold, it's a Mercedes C-Class, new one on that as well. Completely destroyed from the front, and my beautiful Jeep had no damage apart from a few scratches. I went to check on the passenger of the Merc. Got them out, luckily she was unharmed. These Mercs are definitely safe. Under a minute after she's out of the car, she starts screaming about how I wrecked her car. I told her calmly that she was the one who rammed into me. I think she understood how my hitting her would be impossible. I offered to share our insurance details because I knew that Mercedes damage doesn't come cheap. But she said she didn't have insurance. She insisted that I pay her $10,000 cash. How she got this number? I don't know. I said that was just plain wrong as 1. She hit me. 2. It's her fault for not having insurance. She then went on a ramble on how her kids needed the money and they had no money at the time, and now her kids will have to starve because she will have to pay to fix her car, and how it will all be my fault when they are on the street tomorrow. Yeah, on the street with a Mercedes, my ass. That is why you should have insurance. But no, she said that she would call the cops if I didn't pay her. I refused, as this is just dumb. So then she called the cops. Yeah. Cops came, assessed the damage, and asked us what happened, and she said, and I quote, "He backed into me at full speed on a red light, SMH." Then they asked me what happened, and I told them. And it became a he said she said situation. Luckily, a shopkeeper was there and saw the whole thing and even captured it on a surveillance camera. Needless to say, I came out on top. Cops got her for reckless driving and driving without insurance. She then started yelling at the cops about how they would just let a criminal get away. They explained that I did nothing wrong and that they now had video evidence. The partner of the cop came to me and told me if I could drive I can leave Susu. I got in my Jeep and left. Never want to have a Karen experience again, not worth it. P.S. If you have a lifted Jeep with heavy-duty bumpers, a Mercedes can't do much damage. A while ago, I was in my partner's new Uda and was in the parking garage at the local mall. I needed to reverse as I wasn't parked straight in the spot, so I backed up a tiny bit. I had of course checked my mirrors etc. before doing so. Next thing I hear is a bump, so I stopped. Then there was a grind that went up for a good 5 seconds. I got out and here is this Lexus with the entire side crumpled from the back to the front passenger door. Here I was freaking out that I had just killed the Uda. My partner had only had a week and he was gonna kill me for messing up his new car. Thankfully it was just a cracked reflector that to this day we never bothered to replace. Anywho, lady in the Lexus gets out and just goes ballistic at me for backing into her car and totaling it. I tried to tell her that as soon as I heard the bump I stopped and I didn't know how all the damage happened. She was having none of it. Thankfully there was a lady that had come back to her car a few spaces over that saw the whole thing. The Lexus driver had reversed back past my car just as I was pulling out of the car park, and when I bumped her and stopped she kept reversing. She had gotten caught on the tow ball, and that's what did all the damage to her car. The nice lady gave me her details and said she would give a statement to my insurance to say it was the Lexus driver's fault for all the damage. My insurance company declared that it was indeed the Lexus driver's fault, and since I didn't put in a claim for the reflector, my insurance rating wasn't affected. Didn't stop the Lexus driver from harassing me for months trying to get me to admit fault so she could get her car fixed. She didn't have insurance either. It got to the point where she was calling me every day, and it got to the point where I had to get my insurance company to call her to tell her she was out of luck and to not call me again or they would involve the police. Fun times. How on earth could you back up on someone at full speed or so bad it crunched her whole front? LOL, at least she tried. He backed into me with his front bumper. Never underestimate how badly some people drive. I was headed home from work one night and watched a guy run a red light. Not thinking anything of it, I leaned over to plug in my phone charger. A couple seconds later, I was nailed in the face with an airbag. He had stopped in the intersection, panicked, and slammed his car into reverse. His SUV was sitting on my hood with his rear bumper just short of my windshield. Officers on the scene initially assumed I had rear-ended him until he thankfully admitted that he had backed up and hadn't noticed a vehicle behind him. Let's take a moment to appreciate how she prioritized fixing her Mercedes over feeding her children. That's beyond bad parenting, it's insane. Her car was probably a write-off. Also, she probably would have needed it to get around. But she's in a Merc, so I doubt her kids will starve. I would have tried to go after her for your scratches anyways. When I had a Durango, a girl ran into me, her bumper came completely off and all I had was scratches. Luckily she and I both had insurance, but it was a $1,200 fix, which is a lot for a retail worker, and I wasn't going to drive around with damage that somebody else caused. I'm sure your Jeep is way better than my crap Durango, so I just hope you restore to original beauty. Anytime a parent threatens, "But if I have to pay this I won't be able to feed me kids," the correct response is, "I understand you're unable to feed your children, so I will be reporting this to CPS." Exactly. Feeding your kids is your responsibility, so if you make bad choices and are unable to care for your kids, that does not become my personal responsibility, though as a taxpayer, I end up paying anyway while your kids are in foster care. Carl's Jr. believes no child should go hungry. You are an unfit mother. Your children will be placed in the custody of Carl's Jr. I'm surprised you didn't at least get her info from the cops. Wouldn't surprise me if something down the road might flare up. Like alignment, or if it got far enough under the Jeep to mess with suspension or axle/alignment. This sounds like a scam she has stupidly made up to get some quick cash. I remember hearing about a scam like this, but usually you would do a short stop in front of someone, because of the presumption of fault of the person behind. If it was a scam, I'm surprised she called the cops, but I guess you only have so many cars to wreak. Karen wants to sue me now over the post from the Jeep accident. So Karen read my post, who knew? I certainly didn't. I just received a direct message from Karen in all caps as expected. She basically said that how I already destroyed her car and left her penniless and her children starving. I'm so over this, and now she wants me to take down the post because it defaces her. She said, and I quote, "You know this is illegal, right? You have no right to talk like this about me. You already wrecked my CR that I'd have to pay out of pocket now for. If you don't take this down immediately, I will report you and sue you for attacking me." I explained to her that neither was her real name mentioned nor the place where this happened. The only thing mentioned was her car and how she was being a big asshole. But no, she threatened to sue me for defacing her beautiful reputation. How? So yeah, that happened. I advised her against this, but she said that she had my license plate number, and if this post is not gone by tomorrow, I will be receiving some papers. I am not worried at all. She doesn't have a case, as I didn't mention anywhere her name or any revealing info. At all. But if there is anything I missed that can cause me a problem, please tell me, as I really don't want to take a wrong step. P.S. For all the ones asking, yeah, the Wrangler and I are fine. It was built to take a punishment, and so was I. I also contacted the shopkeeper who has agreed to pass me the recording. Her pursuing a lawsuit would be a total waste of time and money. This would never go to court. And that is why this update is here XD. This is bad advice. It can go to court. You can sue anyone for just about anything. It doesn't mean you will win. But you still have to defend against the suit. OP, if you are sued, do not ignore it. Retain an attorney and respond to the suit, or she can get a default judgment against you. Source and lawyer. LOL, I love that Karen was able to identify her own special crazy in a completely anonymous Reddit post. Her pursuing a lawsuit would be a complete waste of her time. It would also actually identify her as the crazy person who did this, since she would have to use her actual name. Man, I hope she's reading this too. To Karen. How can you be that stupid? You must be on a different level of entitled asshole, Karen. Please leave this person alone. Love, everyone that loves to hate you, Karen. Karen has a Mercedes. Also Karen, oh no, I'm poor and my children ate starving. Also Karen, and I'm going to hire a lawyer and sue up. Be prepared for her to ask you to pay for her lawyer's fees, otherwise her children will starve. If she tries, this calls FO a countersue. The good old Uno reverse card. Not an expert, but defamation of character requires you to say something about her that's untrue. As long as your post is true, she has no case, and like you said, will find it hard to have one. Also, it needs to affect her life in some measurable way. Losing out on promotions or raises, people treating her differently, etc. This can't happen unless she doxes herself, in which case, lawyers would basically tell her it's her own fault. Karen asks if anyone else on the waitlist is as entitled as her. I work at a vet clinic. Since COVID, when people adopted loads of pets, appointment wait times have exploded industry-wide. My clinic also has the distinction of being one of the only practices that sees exotic pets, anything not cat or dog, like birds, reptiles, and rodents, within a 60-mile radius, so our appointment wait time reflects that level of demand. Some of our clients who've been with us since before the new millennium haven't been able to get used to the new wait times. And things were just starting to get a bit better in the last few months, but then as summer got closer, everyone wanted to get dog/cat vaccines updated so they can board/travel with pets for vacation. This interaction happened last week. Me, thank you for calling. Clinic, how may I help you? Karen, I need to get my dog in for vaccines. I'm leaving the state next week and need the certificate to cross state lines. Me, looks up her account. Our vaccine apps are actually out about 3 weeks right now. But lucky for you, your dog also needs an annual exam with the doctor. Exam apps are only out a little over a week, and we can do vaccines at the same time. What day are you leaving? K, Wednesday morning. Me, oh, I don't have anything till Friday. K, it takes all of 3 seconds to inject my dog with the vaccine, can't you just do it? Me, ma'am, your dog does also need an annual checkup with the vet, which is a full physical, that we legally have to do in order to administer vaccines. Also, we have a wait list right now for cancellations, so there's about 20 people all waiting for apps for simple injections. K, are all those people going out of state on Wednesday? Me, ma'am, we all have our own personal emergencies and needs and life stories. I can tell you most of the patients on our wait list are suffering horrible seasonal allergies and need a shot to stop scratching themselves bleeding. We just have limited time and staff to get everyone in. K, does coworker still work there? Me, she does, she just got off shift right now. Coworker would not have pulled Karen any strings, which I knew, but she confirmed for me when I told her about it the next day. K, and what about name of someone who has never worked here? Me, no one has ever been here by that name. K, no, I know it was name, she has reddish hair. Me, ma'am, I'm the only redhead who works here. Do you mean my name, which could be close to what she said if her memory was bad? K, no, definitely not. I just wanted to see how much turnover there had been since last time I was there. Oh well, put me on the cancellation list. I'm sure other clinic will act like they actually want my business, though, so don't be surprised if you get a request to transfer my records. Me, knowing we never call waitlist people unless they're on the schedule for a future appointment, but Karen's already hanging up. Okay, bye. We are consistently overbooked to the point of having to refer good clients, who don't treat us like shit, to emergency vets. We had to stop taking new clients for about 6 months. We're fine weeding out the Karens from our client roster. Also, I'm still convinced she was remembering me as a nice employee before, and just getting my name wrong, which I find hilarious. You're totally right, Karen, this place has definitely gone downhill ever since they replaced me with me. I love when they mistake you. I used to have brown hair. Went back to blonde. One day I was helping a customer who said you're so much nicer than that other, my name, who worked here. Did you know her? The brunette? Me no. Never knew her. When working at a doggy daycare/boarding, it baffles me how so many people call saying something like I'm going out of town this weekend for 2 weeks and no, my dog isn't fixed or have any medical records for shots. A. We have a waiting list 6 months long. B. Your dog needs to be up medically fit. C. Your dog needs to pass an assessment to make sure they are a good fit. D. Why would you just drop your dog off at a new place they didn't know for that long? Man, she's awful. I hate customer service with crap people. I too find it amusing when a business is literally too busy to serve someone and then that person thinks anyone would care if they took their business elsewhere. Exactly. Oh, you want to take him to another vet? Perfect. That will help ease our backlog. Thank you for being so considerate. Tell me which vet and I'll have Spot's files transferred first thing tomorrow morning. Good riddance, have a nice life, no takebacks. I'm sure she didn't plan her out-of-state visit overnight. This is how normal people do this. 1. Oh, I'm going away with my dog, let me check if my dog needs any vaccines or checkups. 2. Oh, he does, let me call the vet and make sure of the process so that I am aware and can plan accordingly. 3. Calls vet, vet informs them of long appointment times, makes note to book an appointment in advance to avoid last-minute issues. No, that's how reasonable people do things. The problem is so many people lost their reason during the pandemic. I manage a small vet's office. I have had many clients who have been normal people for decades of dealing with us suddenly turn into crazy Karens. It's truly indescribable how we've been treated the past few years. I know it's not only our profession, but customers are nuts. I used to work for a boutique compounding pharmacy and we had a few self-appointed VIPs. These were the ones who would call us for a refill of their controlled substance. There are never refills on these, totally illegal, on their way to the airport where they will be traveling to their European villa for the season. Oh my goodness, did they get the vapors? The owner was a mensch and had no qualms about telling them to take their business elsewhere if they got abusive. Off topic, but thank you for seeing exotics. I have 4 rabbits, and when one got sick I had to drive her to an emergency animal hospital an hour away in the middle of the night. So practices that see exotic animals are awesome. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.